Sorry about, oh, here we go. I'm now live. Sorry, I was just waiting for the button to go off. How are you? Good to see you. This week I'm going to be talking about gratitude. This is one part of a nine-part series. I think for those of you who just joined then, you may have, I had a few tech issues, so I had to start this again. Apologies. Remember, the premise of this 9-part series is that, we've all been through a significantly hard time, whether it be personally or professionally in some way. I know you hear it ad nauseum, but this is my little way of helping. Let me talk to you about what we've covered so far. Whoops, sorry about that. And what I'm going to cover today. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. Let's go to what we've covered so far. Look at all the work we've done. Crazy cakes, mate. Crazy cakes. So I'm trying to answer this question of post-pandemic. So much has changed. Who are you now? How have your values shifted? How have you shifted? Who are you? Who were you anyway? And what role does all these things like values have, purpose have, authenticity have, responsibility have, presence have, significance have? And finally, what I'm going to cover today with my trusty pen is gratitude. Now, gratitude's super important in my life because I'm to be honest, and I've shared a fair bit, I'm a lack guy. My wife will tell you that. I actually am. You wouldn't think coach you do, but I am. I think a lot about what's missing. And I'll explain more about this in a minute, but what it can do if we don't have a gratitude practice is it can send us down into spirals. So if that's you, and if you've done that a bit over the last little period of time, this is perfect for you because it'll show you an antidote to that style of thinking that I'm always having to work on. All right, so it's a personal thing for me. What you need to know about gratitude is that it's become an industry in itself. It was originally an idea, and it's the concept basically of that you be grateful for what you have rather than be aware of what you lack. It's a really powerful thing because for all of us, there's so many things in our lives where we could go, well, I'm not achieving, I'm not doing, I'm not who I want to be in that area. But there's also equally so many areas of our lives where we are achieving, we are doing, and it helps us keep going when things are hard. And for me this year, things have been hard. Business changes, personal changes, life stage changes, kids, all that sort of stuff. So I think having this as a practice can really help when you're going through change, but at all stages in life. So let me explain to you why this is so important, and I'm going to come back to what you can do to build it into your life as a practice. This squiggly line down here, believe it or not, is a very, very accurate drawing of your brain. And as I continue the amazing accuracy of my scientific endeavor and drawings, I want you to kind of just think about the fact that in your brain, there's a very old part of your brain that keeps you alive. Okay, it's called, it's called your sympathetic nervous system. It's called your autonomic nervous system. The autonomic part of your brain, it's also called the reptilian brain. Now, this part of our brain is 2 million years old. What do you think is the purpose of that part of our brain? I know, if you're on there, you can answer. I'll see if there's any comments. I don't know if I've got anyone on yet. The purpose is to keep us safe. Is about survival. So how interested do you think this part of our brain is? How interested do you think this part of our brain is in gratitude? Yeah, not so much. Not so much. So we've got to recognize that the brain that we hear, that voice in our head that is about doubt, you being not enough, and that keeps us safe, is in part of all of us, and it's designed to keep us safe. So if we understand that about our brain, if we look up here, and that every one of us has goals to serve others, our family, our friends, our clients, our customers at work, but our communities, in those that are around us, we've got a desire to be a certain person, to be a certain way, to be significant, like we talked about last week, and to live our values in our life the way we want to. In service of those goals, what would happen if we put pressure on those things to achieve our goals? What happens usually in our brain? Yeah, we start thinking about all the reasons why we can't. All the reasons why we can't get out of our comfort zone. All the reasons why we can't do something new. And I'll be honest about this. Sometimes that stuff is like, treading water. It's like wading through mud. Whatever analogy for hard you want to use, that's what it's like. Now, here's the power of what I'm talking about today, which is there's one amazing antidote to that. The amazing antidote to that is gratitude. So I want you to try this for me. Think about something hard that you've got to do soon. Conversation you've got to have, a product you've got to build, a new idea you need to present to someone, something that's going to push you. And then I want you to think about why. What are you doubting about it? What is it about it? Where are you doubting yourself? What part of it can't you do? Okay, have you got that in your head? You got that idea? Yeah. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think of a specific time where you have done this before successfully. Okay. I want you to think about a specific time where you've been with a friend and you've just had a magic time, all right, with a great friend. I want you to think about a time you've been in love, all right, and you've had an amazing time with a person. I want you to think about a time when you have exercised like a genius and felt fit and amazing. And I want you to think about a time when you've been creative, when you've created something you never thought you'd be able to create before. And I want you to layer all of those times on top of your doubt. What happens? What happens? It's very hard to think like this when you're thinking like that. When you're thinking like that, it's so much easier. This feels so much easier, so much more achievable. And that's why so many people have not just taken gratitude as an idea, but they've built it into a practice. Now, a practice can look like part of your morning routine, but even more than that, you can train your brain to think this way. This is what I'm trying to do. It takes a bit of, as you know, brains, 2 million-year-old brains take a bit of wrangling. But you can do it. And so there's some processes. So there's some apps. No, I don't have it on my phone. Look up gratitude in the App Store and you'll find a whole bunch of apps you can use. But it's as simple as every day writing down 3 things you're grateful for. That's what most of the apps do. So you can do that inside your head, but you can also do it in a journal. Journal's pretty amazing for that. And I would do that before you plan your day or set intentions for your day. Because what we know it does is it changes the chemistry of your brain into what's possible and what we can do rather than what we can't. Okay, so that's the role for it. So just to remind you, grateful. You know, we've all been told by our grandmothers that gratitude and being grateful is a great way to be, but we've never really understood why it's so. I think it's so because we have our machinery built into our brains to make ourselves that are negative, that tell us why we can't, because to keep us safe. We know they're there, and you can listen to those voices and say, thank you for keeping me safe. But here are all the things I'm grateful for. Here's all the things that I can do. And when you hold gratitude next to fear and doubt, it's very hard for that fear and doubt to win. So it enables us to move forward, and it enables us into our goals, and it dampens that reptilian brain. If you want to, you can take it from an idea into a practice. And I've talked about some nice ideas to do that. What I would love to hear from you is when you implemented this, right? When you took gratitude and made it a practice in your life, what changes did it make? How did it make you feel? What was the impact on those around you, those that you serve, your clients, customers, family, community, soccer team, rugby team? What difference did it make? Being positive and focusing on gratitude. Would love to hear from you. Take care. Talk to you soon. Love your work. P.S. If you're listening to this, exciting news, I'm about to launch a new product working on it right now. Be done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Talk soon. See ya. Bye.